Hello there, and this is your friendly VTuber Vale Walker Talo, and today we are going to be doing a Mega Moemon not hardcore, but just regular Nuzlocke. If those of you that don't know what Nuzlocke is or are, it is you get one Pokemon per route. You go ahead and you have to nickname said Pokemon, and then if they die during a battle or anything, they are quote unquote dead. Now, with this being a Moemon version of Pokemon Red, we are introduced to pretty much female versions of said characters. There are a few different ones, such as, Nidorino male, or Hitmonlee, Hitmontop, that type. And if those that are curious, how I became in this predicament is I was just your friendly neighborhood necromancer trying to provide money for his lovely wife. And one day I got captured and I got sacrificed to a goddess. Well, turns out that goddess was none other than my lovely wife, who was not happy about me, kind of getting axed. So, pretty much not a lot of her worshippers were left, and where my body was destroyed, pretty much, I got resurrected in one of her cultists' body. So that is why you see me in this lovely form. Now, why I chose a female? Well, let's just say I've gotten used to picking something with identity, and I also chose to go ahead and name our rival fandom, because not only is this going to be a controversial take with me being stuck in this lovely female's body, but also the Pokemon community tends to have mixed feelings about people messing with it. However, I know the people that created Mega Moemon FireRed do great work. I was able to play this probably about 3 years ago, and when it first came out, and they made a lot of more major changes to it. So as usual, you have your starters: Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. However, in this case, Charmander looks like this, Squirtle looks like this little lass, and lastly, Bulbasaur looks like her. And the reason why I am choosing Bulbasaur as the starter is simply because of the fact that where this is a Nuzlocke, you want the best outcome, and early game, Bulbasaur is good against Brock, Misty, and is not super effective against Lieutenant Surge. However, he also does not have an advantage against Bulbasaur. And since this is a Mo version, the best thing I thought we could do for it is go ahead and have anime girls be the names for them. So where Bulbasaur has green hair, what we'll do is find a lovely lass, and some of you will find out one of the first animes I watched was Bleach. So we're going to call her Nell, or him Nell too. And as always, our rival, the fandom, chooses Charmander. So we'll go ahead and we'll start this, not generic, but the as always fun rival battle in set. And I don't know if I change it in the settings, but it looks like I'm going to have to possibly update the text speed for this. Well, I can't really do that now. As you can see, I not so much a good predicament right now with our rival, where looks like they got a high roll. Got me, I think, as long as there's no crit. Oh, you gotta love that. But where I do not have any Pokeballs yet, we do not have to restart, thankfully. So, like I was saying, with my experience playing Pokemon, I started playing it when I was very young, and well, I forgot. Do we go here and not yet. Gotta go ahead and grab Professor Oak's Pokeball. Well, his package, I should say, that so happens to be Pokeballs. We are gonna be having an interesting time because from the looks of it, we might hit the struggle bus just a bit. Granted, this Pidgey was level 4, so it was a lot closer. But to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and talk to this wonderful merchant who has a potion for us. And like I said, check here, we have it on fast, which is good. And we'll go ahead and heal up, because the last thing I need to do is lose to a level 1, 2 Pokemon out here. Now, I will say, I do not have a preference. I tested this last night to make sure things work, and that's not what you want to see, a Rattata with quick attack. But, you know, I want to risk it, so we'll go ahead and get that nice level. Oh, and I might, nope, maybe I should have ran. But we have another Rattata, so luckily this one does not have quick attack on it. But I don't know. I always liked playing Pokemon. It was a nice, simple pace game that I can kind of go at my own rate. This is kind of a let's play / Nuzlocke of it. I know, like I said, this might not be for everyone. Some people might not like it because it's making fun of the actual game, and some people are just not gonna like this because, as you can tell, I am a male trapped inside of a female's body. Now, I don't have any hate for anyone, but where we live in this current world, some people will have a problem, some people won't, and that's just on them. I will say that if anyone has a comment or would like to make fun of me, go right ahead. I have dealt with people making fun of me for quite a while, especially when you are a necromancer that does not bring people back for a cheap price just so they could say goodbye or anything. The reason why I became a necromancer was simply because I was simply always by myself and I wanted to have my own friends. Well, let's just say I didn't get along with your quote-unquote normal kids. So, here I am facing the friend issue, so I figured let's study necromancy and we can then go ahead and start having our own friends. Go ahead and talk to her and get ourselves the town map. So one thing that we haven't checked about is we do have a lax nature, so which, you know, not necessarily the greatest, but you know, with this being a grass type, special attack is going to be quite helpful. But as we now officially have our Pokeballs, the Nuzlocke has started. And the very first one that will be joining is a Pidgey. And nice, it's a level 4, not too far off, and it can take a hit. And where this Pidgey is a female, we'll go ahead and start that. Let's see. Woohoo! With one ball, you know. That's always nice, not having to use extra, plus slowing Leech C. That's always a benefit. Let's see. Knowing who Pidgey can evolve into, I think we will go with Jibril from No Game, No Life. Since they're both winged individuals, why not spread the love and continue it? Not gonna lie, I wish we would have had the Rattata, you know, get that nice, lovely Rat King vibe, you know, have something with Hyper Fang or Super Fang. Gosh, it has been a long time since I played Pokemon, so excuse me if I am slightly off on some of the naming conventions. Ooh, well, Sentry. That's not bad. Like I said, I know this might not be for everyone, especially where, you know, this will have grinding and all. But for those of you that stick out, who knows, maybe on the next game we play, we will go ahead and go with commenters or followers. Speaking of followers and that, I do both have an X account and an Instagram account at Vale Walker Talo. It's just as the name is, no different letters or switch ups. Any help would very be appreciative, but I don't expect it, just because, like I said, I might not be your cup of tea, but nonetheless, I am a drink that some people might prefer. go ahead and get a lovely tutorial over by this lightly creepy old man who is now capturing a child. But, you know, like I said, that is pretty much how the game will be. It is people that are, you know, essentially cosplaying as Pokemon. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a rougher night. We got Route 2, so one thing we could try doing is we could go through the forest and hit the patch of grass on the other side, or I think we're going to go try here. But as I was saying, we had a little bit of a rougher night. We have Pidgey, so that invokes the Dupe's Claws. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to Leech Seed the Bonsly, start chipping some of its health away. And then we'll take out this faux Pidgey, and fingers crossed, after we get done taking care of that, the Bonsly will be just right for capturing. And like I was saying, I had a little bit of a rougher night. My beautiful goddess wife took the first shift of our 2-shift system with our newborn daughter, and also it was a little bit of a later night for myself due to the fact that our son is sleeping by himself now in his own room. The little guy is very much of a daddy's boy. But, you know, we are slowly getting there with him. But I would also say, you know, it is the fact that, you know, it's something I wouldn't want to change. That did not do a single thing, which is no bueno. Now, while I am slowly chipping away at Bonsly's health, I am also looking at possibly names for said Bonsly. And I'm trying to find a brown hair character from an anime that I recognize, which, gosh, it's probably been a good 10 some years back when I was in high school that I was able to enjoy watching it. But I think to kind of go with the mood of, you know, the Boy Scout Essential, I'll go ahead and pick a Scout. We will go ahead and go with Aaron Yeager. Yeah. We are just gonna have enough. Welcome to the team. We'll go ahead and get healed up. This one's kind of going to be a shorter episode just because of the fact that, you know, we're just testing things out. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well as I'd hope to take this all the way to the Elite 4 without, having many of my sweet partners pass away on me. Let's take a look real quick at, like I said, we have a relaxed nature, a quiet, little speedy bird, so hopefully we can go ahead and hit quick. And we have a big chunky boy with a relaxed nature. So, I hope that with the speed not being there, it can at least take hits, but having sturdy is also quite very useful. And we have a Sunkern. Not a bad one necessarily, but I know as much as anyone that Sunkern does not have the greatest stats in game, and quite frankly, let's see if Leech Seat can do something. No, so they do have it that some game these mechanics some will not affect. So with that being said, that was a little scary. But we will go ahead and fingers crossed on this. Look at blonde hair anime girls. And that is no bueno. And I do not know if I want to necessarily risk it right now. So I would almost say I'm gonna go a little risque, since Gibril does not have any stab against Sunkern and is not super affected by it. We will go ahead and try using them. Well, luckily, and sadly, if this sweet Sunkern does not want to get in the Pokeball, then we are gonna have to just end it, and we'll go get Gibril her lesson. Because, well, not her lesson, gosh. Like I said, I am so sorry, but we'll go get her a level. Because she deserves it after working so hard. But that does mean, sadly, we do not get a Route 22 encounter because of it. But like I said, with the speed and how heavy hitter she is, we will go ahead and reach level 5, learning Mud Slap. But we'll go ahead and we'll heal up. Now, you might not be able to. You're probably going to have to play this a little smart if I did mess up and sadly got no Pokeballs to buy. So let's run across to the Pokemart real quick. Ooh, and we do. And they're cheaper, so we'll go ahead and buy 10. No Premier Balls. So we'll go ahead and we'll go buy this. And we'll spend the rest on that. One thing that I've So I haven't played a Nuzlocke through and through. I got busy on the way to college, but I know for a fact if you cannot heal in the moment, you are very out of luck. And with that being said, where I am not doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, I can go ahead and heal. Though I will also say that with it being a Nuzlocke, I do have set in place so that I can go ahead and suffer a little bit and not just go ahead and have type advantages like so many people do when they're just doing a casual playthrough of Pokemon. For those that don't know, you can either switch or set during battle, usually with trainers. So pretty much what would happen would be like, let's say I was going up against ooh, my bad. I had Gibble out and we went up against it. We were going to go up against the electric type. Well, that's not going to fly with me, so I would switch out before they even had a chance to. And since we're just doing a little grinding session, I want to at least try and get them to level 10 each. So I'll probably do some of this off screen. But we'll go ahead and swap these around as well in case there's any double battles. But with this being a Nuzlocke, I will not be able to go above the level cap, which, if I am not mistaken, I believe Brock is about level 13. So I cannot go above 13. Well, with that being said, nope, I was sadly mistaken. Brock has a Onyx at level 14. So that means the highest I can go before facing him is at 14. Granted, I can try and edge my Pokemon as close to level 15 as I can. And if they so happen to level up during the Pokemon battle with the Geodude, then lucky me. See, one of the first games I played was the Pokemon Crystal back in Gen 2 before they did remakes and all. But I played Pokemon Leaf Green when it first came out on the SP. So, and that was kind of one of my favorite games with graphics, colors, all that. So that's why I know I can tell you like the first couple gym leaders, I remember details about them. We'll go ahead and do Mud Slap a couple times with Gibble's chance of not getting defense lowered. That helps us out. Hopefully with 2 accuracy drops I don't have to worry about anything. But with that kind of being all said, I know I've never played with a bonsai before, and oh boy, is it gonna it's gonna be a little rough, I feel like, with only having fake tears and copycat. So I think what we're going to have to do is there's going to be a lot of switch training for Mr. Aaron Yeager. Ooh. Ooh. No bueno, no bueno. Yeah. That is, so we'll go ahead and do that. And thanks to Nell, we'll go ahead and heal. And before anyone says, yes, I know, I should have done a green-haired boy for Bulbasaur, but where this is our starter, the one that everyone possibly loved the most, I decided to go with one of my favorite characters from my childhood. So we're going to go with Nell. Jeez. One of the reasons why I'm going down here is the level cap's a little bit lower, so if there was a random crit like that, we would be in the green, so to say, that we won't have to necessarily wonder. Oh, let's see. I think what we might do is we could go ahead and maybe go in the forest, and we can go ahead and grab ourselves. That's odd. Why are you faster than me? Now let's go ahead and let's see what we can all find. Now, seeing the fact that there's other Pokemon in here, ooh, a Wurmple. That's not bad at all, especially where we could possibly get. Okay, I do not like that. The last thing I need is poison, because if it is like Gen 3, poison damage is gonna be non-stop outside of battle. Red hair animables, since we do have, and where this is a bug, let's try Vine Whip. Alright, we have a nice little gap there, and we have possible names pulled up right now. So why not go ahead and so we got a Wurmple, and since we don't know what she's gonna look like, let's go with a more recent name. that's not gonna work. So we're just gonna go with Chris H for Hattori. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, but right now we have that. So currently we have our lovely alien friend Jibril. We got Aaron Yeager, Nail2, and now our lovely Wumple Chis H. So I think we're gonna go ahead and we'll call that a day. Gosh, that was half an hour already. Sorry about that. But thank you for staying with us.